Two men, Tim Jenkin and Stephen Lee, who are part of the prohibited African National Congress, created leaflet bombs to spread the idea of freedom and equality for all races. Due to their actions, they were arrested and charged with crimes. The 26 cases of bombing racked up a total of 12 and 8 years for Tim and Stephen. Prior to being sent away, Tim hid a stash of cash in his behinds. Being introduced to prison life, the officer gave them a strict set of rules: no pens, no radio, no newspapers, no political conversation, no parcels larger than 6 by 4 inches. Visitors are permitted once per month. During the first day of prison, they quickly learned the segregation between inmates. People who wear the blue shirts are murderers. Dennis Goldberg, a fellow inmate, gave the two men a thorough guide of the prison and advice to hide the stash of cash. The walls are 20 feet high with barbed wires. Searchlights are on between sundown and sunrise. Boars with guns from lockup to dawn. Any tunneling will lead you back into the prison property with one exception, which is the wall that separates them from the public street. There have been many attempts, but no one is able to go out. Leonard, a French inmate, approached Tim to be part of the escape. After many nights in the cell staring at the lock of the door, thinking of ideas to escape, it finally dawned on him. The solution were keys. If a key was made out of wood where the turning was against the grain, it would create a perfectly functional key. This would open the doors to the outside world. But how was our protagonist going to find the schematics for the keys, and how would he find the materials he needed? During lunchtime, Leonard would cause a distraction and Tim would use the time to inspect the keys on the guard. Tim drew out the size of the keys at night time and used the time at the workshop where he would shape the wooden blocks into keys. By concealing the keys in the bottom of his flask, he was able to smuggle it back into the cell. At night time, he made an attempt to open a cell door, which led him to realize there was a second door which required a different key. Tim repeated the same procedure and finally created a second key which he used during his cleaning duties. The key snapped as he twisted the key backwards, which resulted in wood chippings to be stuck in the lock. He was able to use tools to remove the chippings, however the door bolt remained sticking outside of the door. When it came to nights out, the officer simply thought it was a mistake he made in the morning. A few nights later, he attempted to open a second door by using a broomstick, wooden block, and a screw. However, after opening the second door, the key was dislodged from the broomstick and fell to the ground. If the guard was to find the key, he would be given a death sentence. Tim used some chewing gum and the broom to take the key back into the cell. Tim discussed the escape plan with the other inmates, but the others were simply afraid of heavier punishments if the escape were to fail. One night, Tim and Leonard did a practice run of the escape. They opened the gates which led to the prison cells and went down the stairs and happened to see the guard starting his patrol. They quickly turned around and hid in the storeroom. Being in a rush, they went inside and the door wouldn't close properly. The only option was holding onto the limited protrusion of a screw in a door. The guard did not notice the door's movement and carried on with the patrol upstairs. The two prisoners quickly moved to the front gate and tested the key to the front door. The two returned to the storeroom and waited for the guard to go back to his office. As the guard reached the base of the stairs, he saw a few sweat droplets on the floor. He immediately thought it was the ceiling leaking and went back to his desk. The next morning, the three escaped from the cells and stole clothes from the possessions room. They hid in the storeroom and waited for the guard to be on patrol. As Tim tried to open the final door, the key snapped. The three were officially stuck. Leonard was having none of this and started chipping away at the door frame. Despite the loud sound, the three were able to open the door and walk outside of prison. They kept their heads down and avoided any unwanted attention. They took a taxi and officially escaped from prison.